Welcome back everybody to a new episode, and in today's video we're going to be doing a garden tour for the month of September. It has been crazy hot around here. Temperatures have been reaching upwards of 108 degrees, so that's why we are currently under the shade. So hopefully all you guys are cool and staying hydrated, but let's get on to the garden tour. We got 3 pumpkins here. I just put this mesh fencing, zip tied it. You can see there's some zip ties there. There's like 2 different pieces, and I stapled it at the bedside, so the bed's holding onto it, and basically just using it as a structure just to give it more room. Obviously you can see how big it is and it's still growing. Now I forgot the exact name of this variety. I'll put it up on the screen so you guys can see. As of right now there's no pumpkins, but there are quite a few different flower clusters here and there. And here we got some corn. I don't think I'm gonna get a really good harvest out of these. Particularly with corn, you want to plant a lot of them because it is a wind pollinated plant, which means these tassels here carry all the pollen, which then basically blown by the wind and fall onto these small tassels here, and this would be a ear of corn underneath. But this one doesn't feel developed at all, so it looks like none of the pollen actually fell down to that particular ear of corn. But because I only have maybe about 8 plants, I'll get an okay harvest. You can see here there's some ear development right here, but they're really thin. Maybe this one's a little bit better. What I think I'm gonna do maybe next year is fill out an entire bed and just dedicate it to corn. That way I would get a better harvest. Now here we can see we got the sunflower, and this one is like a multi-head, other developing heads. So you can see I staked them up and then just tied them with some twist ties. Now we have the white night eggplant. We got a few different ones planted of these. These have been very prolific and just giving us tons of eggplant, more than we can actually eat. And we got the cayenne pepper. These 3 plants here have given us already a ton of peppers, but because it's been so hot, the flowers, petals have just been dropping. Now here we got another pepper. This is more of a bell pepper. It was supposed to be this Spanish pepper, Dukes de España, but I don't think it is. Normally those, I've grown this variety before and they are like start off as a purple variety. These look more like a shishito pepper to me, so I'm not sure. I must have gotten confused with the tags. But we got some peppers developing, and then again we got some more peppers here. This one here is a serrano pepper, so I got the serrano peppers coming in the pot. Now this one here is the Murasaki pepper. It's a Japanese pepper. You can see that it is a purple pepper, but it then turns red. This one is a ripe pepper and it's not hot at all. It's definitely an eating pepper and not a hot pepper. You can see this plant is chock full of peppers. More eggplants in the back. There's tons and tons of them. Here, this bed hasn't been doing too well. So I planted these tomatoes up front real late in the season and they didn't really transplant well. You can see some of them are basically dying. But I had an eggplant there that had some spider mites, but then the spider mites actually transferred. So you can see here, this what spider mite damage it looks like. And I just recently came yesterday and sprayed some neem oil on here just to stop the infestation, because you can see these are less damaged than their neighbor. But this one's a green night eggplant, similar to the white night eggplants right here, but these start off as green, so this is the perfect time to pick this one. So now here, all these are melons, different varieties of melons. You can see them growing up top. I did notice that there are quite a few aphids kind of getting infested, but I did come again, like I said earlier, and sprayed these with some neem oil. So you can see there's no movement. They've all died. So I am trying to take care of the aphid problem before killing my plants. But all along that row here is, and more eggplants in the back. Here we got a pumpkin here. So we got a few pumpkins in the back. This row is 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we got some interplanting of some flowers in the middle. And we got some cannabis in these planters here. If you guys aren't following my outdoor seed to harvest video, definitely check that out. I'll link it up at the top. But one thing that I noticed is a real game changer, the new addition of the drip lines. You can see here the drip line goes down and goes underneath, and I actually did bury it, but each of these beds has drip irrigation all set up already. As a matter of fact, it is running right now. But basically I set up each and every bed to have, you know, drip lines, and I've noticed a huge spike in just overall production, just like these peppers here. And you know, these cayenne peppers were really, you know, short. They did produce a lot, however now you can see they just had like a second life, and I attribute it all to the drip irrigation. If you guys are interested and, you know, want to check out how I actually set this up, I actually did a whole entire drip irrigation setup video. I'll link that again at the top as well if you guys want to check that out. 100% I recommend putting in drip irrigation, regardless if you're starting off in a new garden or you already have an existing garden like I did, because you will see a complete change in the garden, and it just makes it 100% easier to manage. You're not having to come out and water each and every bed. I actually have a smart irrigation system set up in which I can actually use an app, click the start, and it'll start to water my entire garden with just a click of a button. So I highly recommend setting up your drip irrigation system. Here we got the dragon fruit. Unfortunately, this is not a self-pollinating variety. I've said it quite a few times. Here's the loofah. So this plant here, you can see it kind of growing. I was able to get one loofah out of it, which I'm currently using in the shower right now as my loofah. And one thing I forgot to mention too is the shade cloth. So you can see the shade cloth is set up. I'm using 10-foot T-post along with these strap holders. I don't know exactly what they're called, but I'll put it up on the screen. And then you can see we got the wire going all across to that other 10-foot T-post, and we have the shade cloth all strung all along. This has kept the garden way cooler, kept the plants much more happier. But here we got the morning glory coming up on the fencing, and then here's just a bunch of volunteers. So another reason to put drip irrigation, all these plants here, I did have, these are zinnias, but these are all volunteer zinnias. I chopped everything down except for the morning glories, basically attributed to the drip irrigation. So you can see how they're all growing all along the drip line here. And here's the grape again. But yeah, it has produced already for the season, so it's definitely starting to die back with these higher temps. And here we got a bed of peppers. You can see here, these are the habanero peppers. So they're starting to turn orange now. And then there's some cayenne peppers, which again we've been picking off of. And here we got a squash. I believe this is like a yellow or golden squash, I believe it's called. But it's just a huge plant. You can see as compared to my hand, these leaves are ginormous. And then we got some beans here, Chinese red long bean noodles. So these are actually the beans. Again, these were getting stressed out by the heat, but once I put the shade, they actually started to produce. So you can see these flowers. If I didn't put them under the shade, these blossoms would just fall off because of the heat. Some onions, I chopped them way back. You can see all of them are cut. Just threw them in the compost, but then they started to regrow again. So these are some fresh green onions. And then you have some bell peppers here. So we're waiting for all of them to turn red, but you can see some of these are almost ready to be picked. But for the most part, all of them are green, but you can see the transformation of them. Now, every pepper will change colors. So most peppers start off as green, some start off as purple or other colors, but eventually after leaving them on the plant just like this, whatever color they start off, they will actually change colors. We got some more peppers. It's a yellow wax pepper. So this one's an actual hot pepper. Here, these are some small ones. This is another cayenne pepper. And some banana peppers, which doesn't look like they're producing just yet. Another eggplant. Some cucumber that's getting hit with some powdery mildew. Definitely got to pull this one out. I don't see any other development of any cucumbers. And I don't want this powdery mildew to transfer to any of the surrounding plants. So I think it will just be best to rip this one out. Here we got another cannabis plant. This one is a white truffle. It's in this, I think this is like a 10-gallon, 15-gallon, you know, plastic barrel style pot. But this one's growing really nicely in this pot here. And we got some more dragon fruit. This is cuttings. All these are cuttings from the main dragon fruit that I showed you back there. But we got some more peppers here. These are more cayenne peppers. I definitely realized I planted way too many hot peppers. For next season, I'm going to go with the sweet peppers way more than, you know, the hot peppers. But speaking of peppers, we got more. These are some more bell peppers. These are the Cali Wonder variety. These are the most recent planting that I did. I transplanted them I want to say about 3 weeks ago. And that about wraps it up for today's video. So hope you guys learned a little something. Try and give a little tidbits here and there to help out things that I've learned, things that I have gone through. But even if you didn't learn anything and you just liked the video, don't forget to throw up the thumbs up. And if you want to stay up to date with any of my groceries that I got going on currently, you can hit the subscribe icon right below me to subscribe to the channel, and you'll be notified each time I put out a new video. Or if you want to check out any more of my content, you can click on the thumbnails to the side of me. And as always, you won't get a harvest if you don't sow seeds.